Right, hello everybody. A very good evening to you all. I hope you're all good. It's Wednesday, the 1st of March 2023, the first day of meteorological spring, and I'm here to have a look at the two weekly patterns and trends. There is a change on the way. A cold snap is on the way, and yes, there is the chance of a little bit of snow. I'm going to be coming on to that in just a moment. But before we get on to all of that, we'll just have a quick look at where we've been so far this year. And it was another very mild month in February. The central England temperature 6.5 degrees, 2.7 degrees above average. So 2023 has started where 2022 ended, exceptionally mild. And just a quick look at my station here in Folkestone reveals the highest temperature of the month at 3.9, the lowest at -3.3. But interestingly, only 12.6 millimetres of rain, a very dry month. Should be getting around about 80 millimetres of rain in February, so 12 millimetres is very much below average, and that was pretty much replicated over many parts of southeast England. The trend for temperatures throughout the month, we had that mild spell in the first week, we had a cooler little spell in the second week, but then it picked up in the third week and it cooled off in the fourth week. So a bit up and down, but always very, very mild, and pressure was always very, very high. So this was the pressure pattern just a week ago. High pressure, as it had been for most of January, was sitting just to the west of the UK. Move it forward a week to today. There it is. High pressure still well in control, but just to the north of us. And the breezes are now starting to come in from the east. And that's why things have actually felt a little bit cooler over the last few days. However, run this forward another week, and all that high pressure has pretty much ebbed away. It's gone. In fact, there's low pressure now starting to push in from the Atlantic, and any high pressure has been pushed well to the north up towards Greenland. We're actually bringing in a northerly feed next week, which is going to signify the cold spell. So here are the temperature anomalies today. Over much of the UK, temperatures have been around average or just a little bit below because we're bringing in that feed from the east. But run it forward a week, and there you go. Look at that. Deep blues, cold spell on the way. Temperatures many degrees below the seasonal norm. So, yeah, a cold spell is on the way, and this cold spell extends well into France next week, many parts of Germany, all the way up through Scandinavia. So it looks quite resemblant of what we had in December. The only difference between this spell, the spell we had in December and the light cold spell we're going to be next week, is the calendar. So in December, we had snow in places. It stuck around. It didn't move. It was close to the winter solstice. The days were long. The sun was weak, and nothing really moved. This cold spell next week, there's every possibility we could be getting some wintry showers at times. There is the chance of some snow, but because we are approaching the equinox, we're getting on towards mid-March, that sun is so much stronger. So maximum temperatures by day will be higher. So any snowfall or any wintry showers that do fall will be generally transient, and I'm not expecting any significant settling for any prolonged period of time. However, wintry weather can present itself at any time between January and April, and we always need to be on our guard. So, yeah, next week, very interesting week, lots of developments, lots of things to keep an eye on. So, we'll have a quick look at the jet stream. So, this is the situation tonight. Here is the UK. The jet stream is powering well to the north of the UK. So, we're on the mild side of the jet, but the reason why we're just that little bit cooler down here across the south of England is because there's a little bit of an offshoot of that jet just coming in from continental Europe, just across southern England. Hence the reason why things have been a bit cooler in recent days. But run this forward a week. Look at that for a jet stream. Finally, it's powering down from the north. The energy for the jet is heading to the south of us. So we're on the cold side of the jet, and any weather systems that are coming down in the flow are coming down from the north. So this is where next week's cold pattern will be emerging. Things are all set to start changing over the course of the weekend. So what we'll do now is we will run through the GFS loop, how it thinks it's going to sort of play itself out over the next week. And we start with now. So easterly breezes, variable cloud and sunny spells. That's pretty much the way it stays for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, dry and sunny. Friday, dry, bright and sunny, and even Saturday, a fairly reasonable day, but cloud will be starting to increase from the north as some of those weather fronts start to make an appearance. By Sunday, so Sunday the 4th or Saturday the 4th into the 5th, things start to change. A few showers start to edge down from the north as the air starts to cool. At this stage, mainly rain showers on Sunday, but by the time we get to Monday, you'll see a few of these purples and pinks starting to come down in the northerly flow. These are showers and they will be pushing down. The GFS wishes to give us a band of wintry stuff later on Monday into Tuesday, and then really next week, Tuesday into Wednesday, it's quite a cold affair. There's showers coming down from the north at times, and there's some wintriness in there, some sleet and snow. So, yeah, there will be some wintry showers to be had. And as ever, if you do get these wintry showers or snow showers overnight, particularly, or if they're heavy at any stage, there is always the risk of settling. So, yeah, something just to keep an eye on. That was the GFS's take on things. We're now going to take a look at the ECM. It's always good to compare sort of apples with apples in these sorts of situations. So we'll start with the ECM tonight. And once again, we've got this easterly feed at the moment, a dry, clear, fine day tomorrow, and another fairly reasonable day on Friday, just a little bit more in the way of cloud. Saturday is, as we've seen in the other charts, generally bright, a few showers edging in later on in the day. But Sunday, again, is the day of change. ECM are bringing down that colder northerly feed from Sunday with the risk of showers, and run this through to Monday. Yet again, they're in the mood for a little bit of pink and purple, a little bit of sleet, wet snow, and wintry showers in that flow. So, in fact, run that forward through to Tuesday and Wednesday. They're looking at quite a little potent low pressure system coming down in that cold northerly flow. So, yeah, always the risk of wintry showers or longer spells of rain, sleet, or snow. And again, any snow that does fall overnight will result in temporary accumulations, but any snowfall during the daytime is likely to be very transient because obviously that sun in between the showers will be warming up the land and melting anything that generally falls. But we do need to be on our guard next week. There is always the potential because, as with any of these cold spells, we always have to look for the breakdown. And if we look towards the end of the week, there is the chance of more persistent rain with some sleet and snow preceding it before eventually things turn milder. Now, we're going to have a look at the longevity of the cold spell in a moment, but let's have a little look at the way the maximum temperatures are going to play out. So here we go. Today's maximum temperatures were 7s and 8s. Tomorrow, much the same, 7s and 8s. And again, over the weekend, 6s, 7s and 8s. But by Sunday, you'll see those temperatures are starting to fall away across southeast England, typically maxes of 6 and 7. Now, the cold spell arrives on Monday. Relatively mild still on Monday, though, with temperatures peaking at around about 7 degrees, probably earlier in the day. But by Tuesday, that cold northerly breeze will start to become entrenched across the UK and even makes it down as far as the south. Now, you see these maximum temperatures of 4 degrees. You've got to think that these are maximum temperatures. These could occur for a very short period of time. In fact, other times during the day, if you're under any wintry showers, temperatures could be closer to zero. So, just remember that these temperatures are not going to be the temperatures all day. That's going to be the maximum temperature at any point on Tuesday. And Wednesday, again, a cold day, 5s and 6s. And towards the end of the week, those temperatures stay cold, perhaps warming up or becoming slightly less cold by the end of next week as we look at the potential breakdown to milder weather conditions. I think the big story next week is probably going to be the overnight minimum temperatures. The breezes should be light throughout, and under the cold air mass, temperatures will fall away. So these are your minimum temperatures tonight. So again, we're getting patchy frost over the course of the weekend. Those temperatures actually do pick up a little bit. I think further west across southeast England, things will be a bit colder, but further east there's going to be more clouds starting to come in. Sunday night, or should we say Saturday night into Sunday, and another frost. But by Monday, as we said, the cold air arrives, the cold spell arrives, temperatures overnight widely -1, -2. And the fact that these very cold temperatures have made it all the way to the coast suggests that this air mass is cold throughout. Tuesday night and Wednesday night, by the middle of next week, temperatures will be getting really quite cold overnight. Temperatures down -3, -4, -5, and that's pretty much the way it stays for the remainder of the week. Temperatures very low overnight next week. So if you've got any tender plants or anything like that, just you do need to keep them covered, because even by the end of next week, up to Saturday the 11th, still some very, very cold overnight temperatures to be found. Right, let's have a look at the longevity of this cold spell. So these are the projected maximum temperatures for London. It's kind of quite representative of Southeast England. You'll see that the temperatures have dipped away. They will continue to fall over the next few days. If you think that the average maximum temperature for the first week in March should be somewhere around about 9 or 10 degrees, we are a fair way short of that. And I think looking at this here, probably the coldest or the peak of the low temperatures will be probably around the middle part of the next week, before things do start to climb up closer to normal. But it's not a done deal, is it? There's a lot of uncertainty there on these ensembles. There are a spread of perturbations. There are some really quite mild ones, but equally there are some cold ones in there as well. So we just need to just keep an eye on the longevity of this cold spell. At the moment, it's feeling like it's probably going to be a 5-day cold spell before things start to warm up a little bit. But yeah, we will keep an eye on that. We'll have a look at the rainfall spike. So we're dry for the next few days. High pressure is still well in control. But by the 5th, so what's the 5th? Today is Wednesday the 1st, Friday, Sunday. So yeah, by Monday, Tuesday next week, you'll start to see the precipitation spikes starting to pick up as we start to bring in those wintry showers from the north. And then, yeah, the rest of the period is a little bit more unsettled as low pressure starts to ebb away. And if we look at the pressure patterns, so yeah, finally, after many, many weeks of seeing these pressure patterns high at between 1,030 and 1,040, things are now starting to fall away. The average pressure is around here. So we have been high for a long time, but we are likely to start dipping below average in terms of pressure by the middle part of next week. Let's have a look at the snow depths. We like to have a little look at that. And this winter, it's been a bit of a sorry old state, that's for sure. But finally, for the first time since December, it's looking as though there are a significant number of spikes projecting at least some form of snow depth next week, starting around about the 5th with the onset of that cold air, peaking around the middle part of next week, and then easing off towards the end of the week. If we now just look at 14 days ahead, so a long way off, but this is a 14-day trend forecast after all, it's quite likely that by then high pressure will be back down towards the south of the UK, low pressure to the north, and what we'll be starting to do is we'll be bringing in air from the west or the southwest, which is less cold. So possibly things turning a little bit milder in a couple of weeks' time. And that would be the anomaly in association with that westerly breezes blowing in, temperatures probably just back to normal or slightly above. So that is it in summary. I think I've gabbled on for about 10 minutes. I think that's enough for most of you. But suffice to say that we're dry for another couple of days. The cold spell starts Sunday into Monday. Next week is cold. I think the big headline next week will be the cold overnight temperatures, lots of frosts, risk of wintry showers by day, but always the chance of a cheeky little snow event that could catch us off guard, and it's something that we will be keeping an eye on. I hope you've all enjoyed the forecast. As I've mentioned, please give us a like, please give us a share and a subscribe. It goes a long way to building the YouTube community that I'm developing. Thank you very much. Speak soon, and ciao for now.